If China falls, India is the only thing protecting you from South Korea, really. I just realized that.
Yeah, I kind of don't have a buffer in that regard.
And if China does fall, then I think I should just completely abandon my plans to take Malaysia, because I don't want to be on the mainland with a South Korea that owns China. Even in the south, South Korea has just pushed forward even, and the Chinese troops are starting to look slimmer and slimmer.
Yeah, I can't even focus on my own country. I'm watching this.
I know, right? Yeah. So China has barely killed any more units. Like, they've killed another 30 units, but they've lost over 200 more of their own. Their casualties are insane. And yet they're currently deploying the world's most massive military, likely in garrisons. I don't know if their production is going to be able to keep up with this. Like, they have the land, right? And so they have the garrisons. And they have time. But they don't look like they're winning right now.
Economy. Yeah.
If South Korea did win and annex all of this stuff, South Korea's economy would collapse. In other news, my hydro plants are about to finish. That's exciting, right? Let's make more. And I just realized, because I have a mutual defense with China now, I can see what they have in reserve. And they have a lot of defensive units like artillery and air defense in reserve, but almost all of their offensive units are deployed. So, they're committing to this, and they're losing. And they started this war.
I know, that's the irony of it.
Oh my god. The war is definitely slowing down, but South Korea just has so much more high-tech offensive units. Although they're starting to get stuck, it looks like, on the Chinese garrisons. The Chinese garrisons are what's going to buy China time. This war may just go on for a while and then whittle away as their troops whittle away, and then it may just end as well, with just brand new borders, with China losing a lot of territory and population and South Korea gaining it. Oh yeah. Dude, this is nuts. The Chinese garrisons are definitely contributing, but they're only just holding the line. China's military approval rating is still struggling. Oh, what do you think's gonna happen? What's your prediction?
If South Korea keeps going the way they are, I think China's gonna lose.
How do you think they're gonna lose? Do you think that the war is gonna slow down and then they're gonna call a peace treaty, or do you think South Korea is gonna annex all of China?
I think it'll slow down. They'll call a peace treaty, and then they'll just lose whatever land South Korea took.
Yeah, that's the way I see this going too. But I'm hoping China can win. They've killed about another 20 units, lost about 100 more. Although what they're losing right now is mainly garrisons. Military goods are skyrocketing in price because of this war, which is making anything connected to military goods go up as well. Hey, even Singapore is just giving me money now. What a good ally.
And my allies ain't giving me shit.
Well, you don't need it.
True.
My budget is shit. I constantly go down to like 1 or 2 billion. I'm just locked in this never-ending state of like needing to focus on my internal production. I'm building 2 more land fabs though to up my military production, so I can get a land army that's worth more. I've also acquired some more designs and such from places like China. What I need is a strong land army if I'm gonna take anything, because everything around me just has a stronger land army except for the little tiny islands, but those islands have nothing to offer me except for ruining my treaty integrity.
Oh, South Korea just encircled China in the north and in the southeast.
Oh yeah. Most of this doesn't have a lot of units in it though, mostly just locations filled with garrisons. You can definitely see the fronts are fizzling out the further South Korea pushes though. Somewhere around what we're seeing is what I feel like the end borders will be like if this fizzles out. South Korea is probably gonna double its fucking landmass.
On a war that China started.
On a war that China started. Oh man. What happened to our great protector?
Okay, South Korea looks like it's starting to take some losses. The more they try and push into these cities,
yeah, they have to deal with the garrisons and a bunch of defensive units, while pushing their own supply lines pretty thin. And a lot of their defensive units are getting caught out in the open. In terms of the actual population of casualties, China and South Korea for the length of the game are pretty even. China's military deployment keeps going up, again, likely because of garrisons, though. They're almost at 2 million deployed men. They are currently bearing half of the MILCAT penalty.
Looks like the lines have stabilized. South Korea is sending up more units, so.
Yeah, China is reclaiming a little bit of land and sniping some South Koreans that are too close to the front. So the lines are stabilizing, but China has lost probably half or more of its offensive military. It's mainly surviving with defensive units right now. In the north, they just have a giant push of artillery and anti-air units. Because that's all they have left. It's just a constant push and pull, ebb and flow right now of enemy units.
Well, I did sell some of my military goods, made quite a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, the price of military goods
nice
is still just way up because of this war. All the fighting right now is really around Harbin. Like, the South Koreans are pushing so heavily to try to capture that, and the Chinese are putting all their offensive units on trying to defend it. A lot of the units South Korea has on the front right now is also defensive in nature. So this is kind of an artillery slogfest that's going on right now. Have the South Koreans overrun Harbin? Yeah, it looks like the South Koreans overran Harbin. They actually took it.
Yeah, they took it. Yep.
They focused everything they had there, and they just took their little objective that they clearly had.
I don't know what happens if they get to Beijing.
Well, if they get to Beijing, China could just move their capital, but China's military approval rating is still dropping, and South Korea's is staying strong. This is not okay. This is the worst way this could go for us, especially while we still need to be just building up, especially me. Like, you have such, well, I have easy targets around me too. Here's my question, out of curiosity. What inspired you to take over Afghanistan? Did you want it to lead you somewhere, or did you just want their open land? Did they have a resource you wanted?
Yeah, I wanted the land. They had some coal, and to just push eastward out a little bit.
Yeah, because I could go for land. I don't need land. And I have plenty of resources. I'm not missing anything. I start with plenty of population, more than I know what to do with. It's just my military sucks, and my technology is trash. Well, I have 93% war justification towards the United States.
93?
93. That's how much the MILCAT penalty has hurt them. Well, it's safe to say that no matter how this war is going to end, South Korea is going to have been the winner. I don't think there's a way China can turn this around at this point. They would need an ally to enter the war and basically win the fight for them. And you know what's so crazy? Together, we are still so weak that even if we both went to join in, China would still probably lose. Because South Korea is just such a high-tech enemy and has so many units, and our tech is so low, and we have so few units.
We would lose in a heartbeat.
But hey, I built 2 more land productions, so that's nice.
I'm working on getting my industrial production up.
I'm working on so many things. I'm getting my industrial production up. I'm getting my electricity up. I'm still making more rubber. I got my metal ore up. I'm trying to get my military production up so I can actually stand a chance against fighting somebody. Especially my land production. Mainly, my land production is what I want to get up. Because that's the key. I have a ticket into Malaysia at any point. I just need the troops, the higher tech troops to do it. And these troops take so long to build. You know, you're taking 60 days, 70 days to make 1 tank. Make maybe 7 or 6 tanks at a time. That's pretty slow expansion. Hasn't been a lot more progress in the war. I mean, there's still non-stop fighting. South Korea is slowly just assaulting all the towns it's surrounded, killing the Chinese garrisons, losing some men of their own, and kind of mopping up the spaces in between while making slow pokes towards the Chinese.
Yeah, it seems like the war has settled down.
They're still fighting on the borders, in fact, but there's no more big pushes because both sides are essentially out of offensive units. And this is how a lot of wars in SRU go. They're explosive at the start and they turn into like a drudgerous affair over time. And so it'll either end somewhere around here at some point where they just run out of troops and will to fight, so they just say, hey, let's call it a peace treaty right here. Or one of them will make so much more build capacity for troops that they just start to slowly overwhelm their opponent.
Let's hope for the first option.
Either way, so long as the war is on, a war of this scope anyway, will keep prices for a lot of things pretty high. In other news, the US and Russia are still swimming in money, and I'm willing to bet Nigeria is, yep, as well. Nigeria. You know, in many instances, I've always wished that there was a third person I could play this game with, because when you have 3 players, it completely changes the dynamic of what you can do. Even in something like the Cold War scenario, imagine a PvP Cold War scenario with 3 players. You might think, well, who's the third player? Well, that's easy. China. Because in real life, Russia and China weren't allies. They constantly fought each other. And it would be neat to have that. And even if you had a 4th player, who's the 4th player going to be? India? Hello? It could be so crazy to have 3 or even 4 power spheres in something like the Cold War. A lot of cool shit could happen with more players, that's for sure. And even if you had 3, right? Like, look at something like World War I, Triple Entente, Triple Alliance. It's perfect. Did you sell them any technology?
Oh, yeah. I didn't sell them anything, but I just traded on one right now.
Yeah, because I watched on my text screen the one technology I had that they didn't disappear. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh shit.
Be careful with tech trading to NPCs. Tech trading to NPCs is that one thing that you can give that you never get back. And it doesn't make a crazy difference in terms of relations. Resources are spent, but techs are permanent. So far, I have not given any technologies to any AI, not even our allies, because I've seen negative results from that in this game before. Because if you invade too many countries, your allies leave you, but now they're super teched up because of everything you gave them. If you make smaller countries like you throw a bunch of tech at them, later on in the game, they actually become powerful, and then they become a pain in your ass because you gave them a bunch of free tech. Like designs, they become outdated. Resources, they get eaten up or sold. But techs are permanent. And also, in the case of, holy shit. Russia declared war on China, so say goodbye to China.
Fucking China.
China's dead. That's it. China just died. Russia just declared war on China, and China's now as good as dead. I guess I'll condemn this, because Russia hates us anyway. And that'll make anyone that hates Russia like me more. But Russia is just blazing a fucking path. You know, the funny thing about Russia's declaration of war is that they still have to move probably most of their troops from, like, Moscow to actually go take part in this war. Oh, poor China.
Pretty much. I remember when I declared war on China, all of my troops were coming from the from Moscow and its eastern region. I didn't really have anything hardly deployed over in the west.
I think you're getting the directions confused.
Sorry, yeah. I had everything deployed in the west, and I was empty in the east. There we go. Went a little dyslexic there for a minute.
You did that earlier when describing Afghanistan. You said you expanded east.
Okay.
It's like, interesting.
Yeah, suddenly India and Afghanistan traded places.
I'm wondering if I should try to befriend Myanmar so I have an ally up in that region. I'm nowhere near invading anybody like them. And they do like me a little bit. I guess I could try that. Oh, you think we're gonna see an annexed China now at this point? At this point, I'm just gonna start sending some friendship treaties to the Europeans because they still like me somehow. A lot of them, not all of them. And, I mean, everyone else hates us, so.
Why not, right?
Yeah, why not? Like France. France loves me. I don't know why, but I might as well become friends with France. Yeah, most of Europe is neutral towards me. Most of Western Europe is, like, NATO is neutral towards me. I got line of sight and like everything else short of a non-aggression pact, for example, with France just now. I'm going ahead and building another 3 land production.
Building another air production. I gotta get my Air Force pumping out. I gotta get a Navy too, like an actual good Navy.
I'm just focusing on land production because that's all I really need. My naval techs are terrible. My Navy sucks. It's fine. It's okay. Honestly, it's hard enough for anyone just to reach me, And even when they get here, they'd have to fight through a fucking jungle. I'm not too scared of anyone invading me, but I need land forces to do anything first and foremost. Oh, and right now, you know, I'm just pumping out APCs, I'm pumping out T-90s. But I have so few of these things. I still have some, like, World War II era shit. And I'd rather just get my own production up than start buying units from anybody else. So that way I can sustain some sort of large military of my own. Also, buying units is expensive. Oh, I see Russia has showed up in force and claimed basically all of northern China, that northern edge of China. I haven't looked in a little bit, and while South Korea's barely made any progress, which they have made some progress, Russia has eaten everything to the west of South Korea's push into China, and Russia is very quickly, seemingly, pushing south towards Beijing, so I dare say the cavalry from Moscow has arrived. Haha. I feel like I'm gonna look back here again and it's just gonna be Russia outside Beijing, which is currently pretty much only defended by aircraft because they lost all their other troops. I didn't think China was gonna die like this. I'm so glad I'm not on the mainland, man. Whew. I hope you're not planning on attacking India, because when the world comes for India, you're next. You're in this interesting situation where, like, where are you gonna go? If you go east, you have to worry about everything that's encroaching towards you right now. If you go west, Israel's in that direction. You can go out into the ocean and try to just jab your way into Africa.
I might have to.
Technically, you don't even need the ocean for that. You could just go stage out of Egypt and launch an invasion into Sudan, although that Sudan would take some logistical maneuvering to take over, because the supplies there are going to be shit. But yeah, you're in an interesting situation.
Indeed. This is definitely a game changer.
Like, if you were just going for land, you could maybe go for Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, but after that, you're just surrounded. Maybe Iran, but you go west and you're going to have to push into Israel eventually. And Israel is no South Korea, but, you know, it's still a challenge. And then there's me, where I'm just not even invading anyone right now because my military's dog shit and there's nothing that I need other than uranium, but I don't need uranium for anything that I'm building. And there's no point to invade countries just to invade them, because this isn't like my Cold War playthrough. We don't have a goal of taking over the world, we just have a goal of becoming Muslim superpowers. And I can do that just fine from where I am. I'm actually going to befriend some of my neighbors that don't hate my guts.
South Korea is making another big push. I think they're going to get to Beijing before the Russians.
Oh yeah, they're pushing up all these, like, tanks and other offensive units. I don't know, Russia's making some damn nice progress. But, you know it'd be so funny if they both reach Beijing, and then they declare war on each other, because they hate each other anyway.
Oh god. That would be an interesting turn.
It would, and I've seen crazier things happen in this game. Oh my god. You felt that little lag spike? I just watched what the lag spike was. It was a massive South Korean push. Holy shit. But the Chinese garrisons are holding strong. I haven't looked at the statistics in a while, though. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Look at some of the South Korean ranks.
What happened?
Look at some of the South Korean ranks on their units.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, they're battle-hardened at this point. Oh, dude. Oh, my God. They just overwhelmed those two villages, and they're just going down the road now. Russia, catch up. Why are you slowing down, Russia? Bro, look at South Korea. Go. Who's gonna... Yo, alright.
Taking any roads.
So now that I think we've accepted that China's as good as dead, who do you think's gonna annex China? South Korea or Russia?
I think South Korea.
It's probably gonna be a mix now that I think about it, actually.
I don't know. It depends if the Russians take that road right there where they're stuck at, which it looks is like what they're finally doing.
They're like so close to taking that little village.
We'll see. Yeah, it's almost like an equal distance.
But Russia will definitely be able to claim land when the war ends. China's military approval rating has plummeted. They are so gonna die. Who knew so much could change in such little time?
South Korea's right outside the damn city.
Yeah, South Korea, like, and again, there's like nothing protecting Beijing. There's some MLRs and a helicopter. Like, China may not surrender when Beijing falls, but based on their approval ratings, I'm gonna assume that they're gonna wipe. Russia's deployed military is skyrocketing now as well. China's is still #1, but after this, you know, oh shit. And the US is just minding its own business.
It's like, I ain't getting fucking involved in that shit. Y'all have fun. That's it, guys. The battle for Beijing has begun. Nope, not yet.
Oh, yeah, they've certainly reached Beijing, alright. Oh, here comes a whole bunch of troops. Whole bunch of offensive troops, but they're going for Langfang first. Slicing down the Chinese garrisons and trying to encircle Beijing. They're gonna have to fight for Beijing, though. There will be garrisons everywhere, but seeing how quickly they're taking down everything else. Oh, and Russia's getting closer as well. Russia has big forces moving south. They're just bypassing a lot of the cities, heading right for Beijing. They want to get as much land out of this war as possible.
China should have just peaced out.
China shouldn't have declared war that they weren't ready for. Why'd you go for South Korea, a fully unified Korea? Go for Bhutan or Nepal or someone little if you're going to go for anyone. Go for Vietnam. Oh, they've broken through to the outskirts of Beijing proper. Here's a tech trade.
Okay.
We gotta support our rising Muslims, man. The rest of the world's crashing down upon us.
Yeah, I've actually went ahead and increased my land production, air production, military goods production.
Another tech trade. Oh, Beijing has fallen. South Korea just took Beijing. China's military approval is plummeting even further. They've moved their capital to Shanghai. Will they actually survive that long, though? Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, there we go.
Oh god! Russia got most of it, but South Korea got most of the developed land.
Well, there we go.
Oh god, what happened? What happened?
One of the Asian superpowers.
There are now two Asian superpowers. Russia and Korea. And they have the same population and everything. They're both high tech. They both have insane amounts of military production. Let's sort by military production. South Korea now has the 3rd highest military production in the world, far surpassing anybody and everybody in Europe, matched only by Russia and the United States. Goodbye, Winnie the Pooh. We'll miss you.
Oh my god. We will miss you very much.
I love that perfect border line that got drawn down the middle. This is why Russia was pushing out.
Yeah.
They were pushing out so that they could get as much land as possible, even though they didn't fight most of the war. And they did. Which means, honestly, I feel like South Korea and Russia are going to be very much at odds, and I would be very surprised if they don't end up at war within the decade. But who knows? Tensions are through the roof right now, I'm sure. Well, how does it feel that you now border Russia?
I'm scared.
Yeah, you should be. Well, now I'm just gonna continue quietly, building stuff and progressing my nation with my vast amounts of resources, and hopefully I will advance into a world superpower without even having to invade anybody. That's not very likely, especially because I'm not building any research centers. You know, that's one thing I could get from attacking someone like East Timor, is their research center.
Yeah, you picked up a free one.
Actually, they don't have one. I lied.
Well, at least I can get some friendship treaties with Russia.
Dude, they hate my guts, so like, they won't take shit with me. I have an embassy and that's it. Their population hates me. Like, it's just complete hatred. They don't like me at all. 95% war justification towards the US, 55% towards Russia, and the country that's apparently the most likely to attack me in this world is Russia. So, I'm gonna go befriend more of Europe.
I'm gonna try and befriend Russia.
Yeah, you know, it's a good idea.
Let's be friends, please.
I'm befriending certain other countries like Myanmar and honestly Bangladesh as well. I'm just looking for friends around me at this point. Friends I don't have to pay for treaties. Even small, insignificant friends. Even ones that I border. Just because I'm not planning on expanding very militarily right now. There's no point to it. My military's not there, and I don't need any more territory for anything. I've finished building 3 new land productions as well, so now I'm making even more shit. I have 9 land productions now. Do I rank on the board for military production yet? I do! I rank above you! Even though you're very close behind. Yeah. Hey, you almost rank above Israel. I'm trying to spread out my production too between all my many islands. So that even if you took one island, you wouldn't have all of my production. Right now, I have one on the island of Borneo. And my other main 2 islands, Sumatra and Java. I can't believe I know these names. Holy shit. I can't believe I know these names.
My treaty integrity is still pretty low, 77.6%.
Yeah, it's because you declared war. That's honestly pretty good. That's a pretty good treaty integrity. It can get a lot lower. Mine's at 90% though. So I'm just going to be holding off. I'm about to have even more industrial goods production finished, but that means I'm going to need even more electricity. So I'm still building... I'm building like 3 hydro plants right now, I think. And rubber's still selling. I keep dropping the price of it because I keep building more production of it. But I'm just slowly extorting that rubber. But I'm keeping the market real healthy. So you should never run out. Although at the end of the day, in terms of production, I still don't produce the most. South Korea now produces the 2nd most because they got all of the rubber synthesizers that China had.
Rubber China had?
Yeah. Malaysia's still producing the most by a long run. And they're barely using any of it. So they're not really expanding their military then, that's for sure. I'm amazed my rubber gets sold so much. Like, who's buying my rubber?
Probably me, considering I have no production at all whatsoever.
Like, I look at the actual purchasers of it, and yeah, you're up there. You in France especially, and Brazil, but your consumptions are so low. I don't understand how I'm selling the amount of rubber that I am. I don't understand. Doesn't make sense. Well, let's build 8 more rubbers then, huh? Gotta keep that rubber flowing, man. It's like gold, and eventually it's gonna become worthless. And then what am I gonna do? Metal ore seems to be selling more. The USA is importing ass loads of it. So South Korea. Wow, there's a lot of demand for metal ore in the world. Wow, Russia produces a lot of metal ore. The Muslim world is falling down. Falling down.
Not yet, it's not.
Falling down. We need more allies. I say as I have twice the allies you have.
Yeah.
I've befriended Singapore and Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I want more allies. Nobody else really likes me that much. Like, there are some countries I could work on, but we'd have to kind of figure out together who we'd want to be friends with. You haven't even gotten Saudi Arabia yet. Who else should we work on?
I'm like at that last little bit where they won't freaking accept it.
Money, man. Whether you're supporting them through
giving them money.
Are you doing it through the support over time with their government, the support ruling party, or are you just throwing money at them?
I'm throwing at them because, dude, I checked it. To support their government is $1 billion a day.
It's not actually that much. That number lies. It's expensive, yeah, but it's not actually as much as you think it is. Wait a minute. Oh my god, Hong Kong is independent.
Oh, that's right. China lost.
Hong Kong was a colony and now it's independent. I'm gonna befriend it. What other Muslim country should we try to befriend? If we had to go for any other one as an ally, like just... because I'm looking for a goal. I think I'm gonna go for UAE next. It's a small country, but it's rising, I guess. I don't know. It's next to Saudi Arabia, so that's cool. They already like me pretty well. I think it's a...
treaties with them already, so
yeah,
I get grab.
Pretty much everything short of formal alliance. I think my relations with Russia are improving a little bit.
Well, mine are. At least Russia towards me, because they were feeling diplomatically...
I'm going to go ahead and befriend Kyrgyzstan, because that's one of their allies, and I doubt you're going to attack an ally of Russia.
No.
Especially now that you're befriending Russia, so I'm going to go befriend Kyrgyzstan.